नमस्कार, मैं सुचेता नाइक विज्ञान परिषद गोवा से आप सबका स्वागत करती हूँ. तुमका सगळ्यांक माये मोगाचो येवकार. Today, we are meeting virtually to celebrate the 65th birth anniversary of the man who worked on a decision he took with intense passion till it reached its fruitful goal. A man known for his sharp mind, for firm handling of situations, humility, and simplicity. Who could imagine the CM of a state in a simple bushert traveling on the back seat of a scooter or in a rickshaw? He was not pretentious of his position, but the general public would look at him with awestruck eyes, pride, and disbelief when he walked alongside them on the road, or also was spotted having his favorite Goan pav bhaji, his favorite Goan snacks in the local hotel. He was known for his sharp mind, as I said earlier. This was Manohar Gopal Rao Prabhu Parrikar, the IITian CM we are proud of, patron of Vidnyan Parishad Goa, rock solid supporter of this scientific movement in its infant state. We know him. We know him as a divine energy which persists with this Parishad even today. Let me ask Dr. Sufala Pujari to present the invocation Prarthana to commence the celebration behind this son of the soil. Thank you.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Ishavasya sarve Yatkincha Jagatyar Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magridah Kasya Swittanam Vidyai cha Yastadvedo Bhayam Saha Avidyaya Mrutyuntirtva Vidyaya Mrutamashnute. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Sufala. I now request Shri Suhas Godseji, President of Vidnyan Parishad Goa, to give the welcome address. Godse sir.
Namaskar. On this occasion of Manohar Parrikar Memorial Lecture, being organized on the occasion of his 65th birth anniversary, I extend warm welcome to Dr. Satheesh Reddy, Secretary Department of Defense R&D and Chairman DRDO, Shri Srinivas Dempo, Chairman Dempo Group of Companies, Jayant Sahasrabudhe, National Organizing Secretary of Vijnana Bharati, Principal Ratnakar Lele, dignitaries from Vidnyan Bharati who have joined it, science lovers, and our team Vidnyan Parishad. I welcome you all. If I am to talk about today's event, I would say Manohar Parrikar was a visionary. When we talk about Panji and Goa, he gave us so much. He was a dreamer, who brought the dreams to reality. Those who remember Panji before first IFI in Goa and after it, how it was transformed. Look at the new Pato Bridge, new jetties, the entire riverfront of Mandavi, market complex, and not to forget the Atal Setu. It was known to be to the engineers on the site that he could visit the site even at midnight. He would supervise personally and confirm that everything was right. Let me share my own experience of 2018 Nobel Dialogue that was conducted in Goa. There was a grand exhibition set up on behalf of the Nobel Foundation in Kara Academy in a pavilion. It was set up by Swedish personnel from Nobel Foundation itself. A few minutes before formal inauguration, we were all instructed to vacate the venue. And during those 3 minutes while we were moving out, Manorji entered the exhibition pandal, had a very rapid look at the whole setup, was satisfied, and then rushed out to welcome the Nobel laureates who were to formally inaugurate. That was his passion. He wanted everything to be in place and wanted to confirm personally. The fourth Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan of 2015 was possible because of his total support. He made entire infrastructure of government available to Vidnyan Bharati. In bureaucratic terms, the entire man and machine of the government was made available to make the event successful. During the Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan actual, he was Defense Minister of India. Election code for Pajji constituency by election was imposed. He chose to sit audience during the event not to breach the election code. That was his respect to the law of the country. God alone knows how he managed finances of Goa from 2012 with no income coming in to the treasury due to mining ban. He was a financial wizard indeed. As for Vidnyan Parishad, he did not allow any of our activities stop due to paucity of funds. We don't know what he did. After the success of Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan, he wanted Vidnyan Parishad to conduct annual activity to promote science. We have the Science Film Festival over the last 5 years, which was which was and is also appropriately supported by the government. He was instrumental in putting it into place. The success of Nobel Dialogue impressed him immensely, and he did tell us that we should have a similar annual activity involving Nobel laureates and Indian scientists of eminence. Well, we hope someday we'll be able to do it. I end my talk today with a deep feeling that we miss Manohar Parrikar today. Yet his memories will always drive us to strive for promotion of science, scientific attitude, and scientific temperament. Thank you.
Thank you, Godse sir. With his scientific thoughts and engineering mind, he maneuvered the future of this Soviet, that is, beautiful little Goa, to the admiration it gets nationwide and even worldwide. It was a perfect recognition for the state when he took the reins of the defense ministry of this country. And that was, no doubt, the most proudest moment for every Goan to listen to his oath taking for the prestigious responsibility as the Raksha Mantri. His youthful energy was infectious, which he wished to transfer to all his fellow citizens of Goa. Every time I drive across the Mandavi over the Atal Setu to my school or back home, the memory of this inspiring personality flashes into my mind. The determination to witness the completion and then inaugurating it, cutting the ribbon with the support from his people, and then his feeble but spirited last speech ending with "How's the Josh?" Such precious memories conveyed by a very close associate and friend are priceless to listen to. I invite Sri Ratnakar Lele ji, ex-principal of Mushtifund High Secondary, a physics teacher par excellence, and a found member of Vidnyan Parishad Goa, to kindly share with us his valuable memories. So,
Namaskar. Respected Dr. Satheesh Reddy, Jayant, my friend Shri Srinivas Dempo, and all the respected participants. It is very difficult to talk about a person with whom you have very close friendship or you loved much, and that also in a short given time. But I will try my best. We first came in contact somewhere in 1969 in RSS camp. Manohar was studying in 8th or 9th standard in Mapsa, and I was a little elder to him and studying in first year science in Sawantwadi, my native place. I happened to be his physical teacher in that camp, but was not aware at that time that we would be so close after in the coming years. We were Swayansakas from our childhood, but when I started my teaching career in Goa, and then I started working at Goa level for RSS in that organization. Then many times I was visiting Mapsa, so I was staying with Manohar at his residence, and our friendship started growing. I believe leaders do not always display their emotional side in public, and Manohar too was not an exception to that. But was this human emotional side to Manohar which he would display to me many times. I vividly remember the day his wife, our Medha Vaini, passed away. And we were together along with then BJP Minister Shri Digambar Kamath coming to Mapsa. Manohar was looking poised with a sea of emotions going within. He suddenly said, Abhijat is still too young, just in 8th standard. I am worried. So he speaks in Kokni. अभिजात आमचो खूप लहान आसा रे अशें म्हणून. How to tackle the situation in future? I tried to console him the way I could. After 1 or 2 years, he became CM and could not give time to Abhijat for his studies or otherwise also. Abhijat was, of course, a clever student, no doubt. But Manohar had parental worry. Every parents nowadays has too much worry for their children. Of course, Manohar was not of that type, but he had the parental worry. He was chief minister at that time. Then he was dropping Abhijat to our residence, at our residence. Abhijat was studying on his own only. If required, Anagha, my wife, was helping him. Pranav and Aparna, my children, also befriended him. I remember once one of the BMS Karyakarta commented on Manohar that he is not bothered about the poor and downtrodden. Manohar was CM at that time. It was regarding some policy matter. I don't remember that now. But when he heard this criticism, he came to my office at Mushtifund Higher Secondary with a very nervous face and sat down very calmly in front of me. For 5-10 minutes, he was not talking only. He did not talk. I was asking again and again, what happened? What happened? After 5-10 minutes, he told about the comment. Unfortunately, I had not heard that earlier. He was about to weep. The accusation had deeply pained him. I tried to make him comfortable. I tried to remind him that you were our Sangha Jalak, and how can this comment be true? Sangha Jalak plays a parental role for Karyakartas and Swayamsevakas in RSS. At the age of 29, somewhere in 1984, he was appointed as the Sangha Jalak of MAPSA when he was active in RSS before joining BJP. In those days, one of our Karyakarta was suspended unnecessarily and Manohar was helping him on monthly basis till he was appointed again. And this was not known to us at that time. I reminded him about that incident and asked him, how can you be a non-caring person for downtrodden? We know that during that tenure, he executed the scheme of rupees 500 per month for senior citizens, which could not be thought of otherwise if he was not caring for the downtrodden. Then the scheme of rupees 1 lakh for marriage of daughters. In many such incidences or such situations, he was visiting our residence. When his government was dismissed in 2005, defeat in the assembly election in 2007, in 2015-16, who was supposed to be a closed colleague to him, started abusing him publicly. He was very much upset at that time. But he did not fire back at that time. Absolutely, he never fired back, though he had good chances for that. Keeping discipline of the organization in mind. But when some issues regarding the Karyakartas were there, he was requesting us to tackle the issue, especially when Karyakarta was becoming angry, getting hurt, or like that. I remember one Karyakarta, Nagesh Gosavi, was not listening. He has some difference of opinions and all that. And Manohar told him, "Na re, te ashet karpache." But Nagesh was very much upset. And he casually told us, "Te mare maka zamana, I can't do it. Preman love, to talk with love and all that. Te mache tumi padya, taka mache samdaun sanga. Please talk to him." Once he told me that many asked him about his second marriage and bring the proposals also. But then he was telling them that his was a love marriage. He just can't think of another woman other than Medha in his life. Our Medha Vaini. She was also the good Karyakarta of Rashtra Sevika Samiti. Once I invited him to have an interaction with young students of standard 11th and 12th in my school. One student asked him, why did you join politics? A direct question to him. His answer was, I was told to work in politics and it is not my profession, but it is the mission for me. Balasaheb Devras, the then Sarasangachalak of our RSS organization, was telling that when anyone is in social life, there are many chances where one may get deviated from his chosen path, become corrupt, and politics is the area where such chances are more. For that matter, it is as good as a bathroom with soap water on its floor. That means, as it is, the bathroom is slippery, and with soap water there means chances of falling are more. But Manohar managed himself to keep away from all corrupt practices and could maintain his personal character intact. Because of this, he could create a place in everyone's heart for him, not only in Goa only, but in Bharat also. I consider myself very fortunate to be in his list of friends. When he was in Goa, at least 3-4 times in a year, he was giving calls and coming for lunch. He was telling, "Aaj jevpak yeta, I am coming for lunch today." And he was coming to have a veg food. He was very fond of chaat type of food, bhel, batata, pani puri, like that. He was very fond of that. Anagha, my wife, prepares very nice bhel and that type of food. Jokingly, he was saying to her, "तू एक गाडो घातलो जाल्यार पणजेतले सगळे गाडेवारे बंद जातले." म्हणजे if she starts her business of selling bhel and all that, then Panji's all bhels from Panji will be stopped. He was coming any time, even in the evening or like that, and suggesting her to prepare की ते चटपटीत मातशें कर अशें म्हणून. Thus he was our family member. But last 2 years, we are missing such phone calls. But we remember him every day whenever anything regarding politics issue comes. Thank you.
तुमच्या आठवणी अतिशय हृदयस्पर्शी होत्या सर. आभारी आहे. Thank you, sir, for making us realize and experience the persona of Shri Parrikar through your touching narration of someone who was very dear to you. I would now like to request Shri Srinivas Tempeji, well-known industrialist and educationist, to share his thoughts on his association and journey with the late Chief Minister.
Good evening, everyone. At the outset, let me wish all the esteemed and august speakers, starting with our keynote speaker, Dr. Satheesh Reddy, Professor Jayant, Sahasrabudhe, Professor Ratnakar, Lele, Professor Suhas Godse, and many others who are well-wishers and who have had a lot of interaction with this great human being, a great leader, Manohar Parrikar. I was fortunate enough to closely associate with him on number of forums. Earlier with professional forums, earlier with government work, and as slowly time elapsed, with a lot of personal friendship. He took a liking for me, which I think I am very, very fortunate. Generally, he used to keep away from people such as industrialists or people who he thought were on the higher sphere of income. But slowly, because of the association that I had with him on a personal level, he started associating with me as a personal friend, which I feel is very, very fortunate. Many of the earlier speakers have described him. He's a visionary, he's a master executioner, a passionate educationist, and that's why the Nobel Laureate series. My association with Bharati Vidnyan Parishad was because of two individuals. One is Mr. Manohar Parrikar himself. He encouraged me to get associated with this body. And secondly, Professor Suhas Godse, who I am still associated and has been kind enough to involve me in all the activities. Manohar Bhai to me was in a lot of ways an inspiration, a guru of sorts. It would not be an exaggeration for me to say that other than my late father and my late grandfather, the third person that I immensely believed in, his impeccable character, his passion for Goa, his capability, his leadership, all really attracted me to him. And I said, how do I emulate this man? Instead of saying imitate him, because nobody could imitate him. But how do you try and imbibe certain qualities of him? They were very difficult, mind you. People who are associated with him will tell you that he was a no-nonsense man. He was a very straightforward man, whether you liked it or not. And believe me, that the 10 works I took to him as a chief minister, as an industrialist, 5 or 6 he never approved. And I liked that honesty in him. Everything had to have a logic with Manohar Bhai. Whenever you had to argue with him, you should have been well prepared. Otherwise, he would have just, taken over the debate and finished you because of his intellect, because of his capabilities. And I remember various instances like that. And since Professor Godse told me to share a few of my personal moments with him, I remember the first time, and even before becoming a friend, I was appointed by the government in power to be the chairman of Planning and Development Authority. And I was barely 26 then. And Manohar Bhai was the first time MLA in Panji. And Planning and Development Authority gives permission to all the builder lobby, all the building, real estate activities, hotels. So it was a very challenging job. People come with all sorts of expectations. Everybody is a friend in Goa, which you can't deny. And due to my nature, I somehow felt weak when people started requesting me. So that's the time I took help of Manohar Bhai. I used to sit late nights with him with all the approvals and proposals, because he was also part of the PDA, being being MLA of Panji constituency. The kind of insights I learned from him. First, he taught me, because of integrity and honesty, how to say no even to your close friends. He used to call me Baba. He said, Baba, in Kokani, as Professor Lele said, sir, Tuza to konuya asu. This is not good for Panji. This is not good for the state. So you, as a chairman of the Planning and Development Authority, should learn to say no. And I will support you in every meeting that is. So this was a great learning I had, to say that when you are faced with very close, and as Mahabharat says, that all are your relations, and how do you do it? I learned this from Manohar Bhai, that when it doesn't fall within your principles, how do you say no? The second instance I said, and when Professor Godse said that he used to be there till late night, I remember he was working 24 hours a day to get IFI in Goa. And he finally got the approval, and he had barely 6 or 7 months to complete the infrastructure. Now, it was unheard of to complete the infrastructure in such a short time. But he was brilliant. He worked overtime, he worked through personal inspections, but somehow the press misunderstood him. And one of the newspapers was coincidentally promoted by a group or run by a group, which also criticized him and cast aspersions on the quality of work that was done. He one day lifted the phone. He called in a very stern voice, because he did not like, when he was so honest and when he was sticking to his principles, he did not like to be criticized unjustly. And he told me, Baba, tu mujhe barabar aaj raat so yo. He said, what time do you sleep? I said, Manohar Bhai, I sleep around 10:30, but whatever time suits you. He said, I should be free by 11 o'clock. Please come with me, so that you should know, as an owner of the newspaper, what your newspaper is talking about. And it took me exactly, by the time he really wound up his work, it was 11:30, quarter to 12. Somebody said 12 o'clock. That was exactly what I witnessed. He took me exactly to every site, and I was just amazed. And I said, he's the chief minister of Goa. He had 2-3 engineers lined up, took me to every fine detail and showed me what is being done, how quality is being addressed, what is the process being followed. And he said, now, if you are convinced, you should go and tell your editors or your reporters what is happening. So such was the details of the man. From that day onwards, I changed his designation. I told Manohar Bhai, I will never call you Mukhyamantri or CM again. I will call you the CEO of Goa. I said, I wish I had a CEO like this for my group of companies who had so much details in him, who had so much knowledge about everything. And this was one more learning experience I had, that whatever you do it with a passion, put your heart, mind, and soul in it, and see the results for yourself. And just to let all the viewers know, that infrastructure is standing straight and strong even today, after so many years. And IFFI is being hosted permanently in Goa after Manohar Bhai decided to. The other big decision I took in my life is to give up mining. And I still remember Manohar Bhai was the leader of opposition. And I thought that as a leader of opposition and my very close friend, before I signed on a dotted paper and I sell my business, I should go and spend a few hours with him, tell him about my decision. I went and met him. He only asked me one thing. Is there any trouble in the government for you? Then I am there as the leader of opposition. I can talk to the ruling party. I said, no, Manohar Bhai, I have not been troubled by anybody. But there are certain principles which are being challenged as I sit here with you. And he immediately caught what I said. He said, for your nature, I don't know whether you are doing the right thing for your group, but for your nature, and as I know you, he said, I think you are taking the right decision, because I know that a lot of new players who have come into this sector may not follow the rules of the land. And this industry is getting, a very blurred line between what is legal and illegal. So maybe you are feeling uncomfortable in this situation. So he said, you are doing the right thing. And he was one of the persons in Goa, very few persons in Goa, who encouraged me to back my decision and take whatever decision I back. So he said, anytime that you think of a decision, you have to see how it impacts yourself, whether it fits in your moral values, whether it fits in your principles. And I still remember when mining closed, he told me, he said, Baba, jana mare apne tuka kirya sangille the? He says, because of the principles that were being challenged, today mining has come to a grinding halt. So this is how I respect Manohar Bhai. This is how I felt that his ideals and values were something. His passion for Goa, his capability of our defense minister is well known. And I still remember the best time I got with Manohar Bhai when he was defense minister. Because in Goa, he used to remain extra busy with so much of his social circles, his people, his constituency people. For him, his constituency was Goa. It was not his constituency. All of the Goan people loved him. And the lower people who were, not equally privileged were the ones who loved him the most, because he could easily connect with him. And one of the things that I learned in Delhi from him is, and I spent a lot of time with him, he said, be yourself. He said, I am uncomfortable to socialize in Delhi, so I sit in my house in Goa. And one thing I learned from him is reading. I used to never read a lot. In Delhi, I used to see heap of books. And I used to ask him, Manohar Bhai, tuka time kenna matter? He says, time has to be creative. He says, I sleep less, I work more, and I socialize less. So whatever time I get, I read, and I try and enrich myself. This is something that I learned from him. And I try and tell my children that many of these aspects you should imbibe in your character. One thing, whenever he used to come to my house, he used to love children. So he used to love to meet both my daughters, and they used to love to meet him equally. He is the only political leader that whenever he used to come and ask me, can we get 5 minutes with Manohar Bhai and can we get a photograph with him? Such was the love of the children for him. So really, this man is missed the most in Goa. I know that he died at a very young age of 65 by today's standard, but I think his life has to be celebrated. And I know a couple of books have come out, but I would strongly urge that whoever knows him should write about these stories so that the younger generation in Goa as well as the rest of the country try and imbibe his qualities, because that's what I think Manohar Bhai stood for. He was extremely passionate about education. The Kujira educational complex that many Goans know about was his creation. And he tried to attack two things in one go. He said, I will give the best of infrastructure facilities for the schools of my constituency, and I'll also decongest Panjim. And the amount of time, Lele sir knows, the amount of time that he has spent on planning this educational estate. And I'm very glad to inform all who have not seen this that 15,000 students learn in this educational estate today, which comprises of about 6 institutions. So these were his visionary projects, which were executed, a master planner, I must say. So these are few of, there's a lot to talk about Manohar Bhai. There's about his simplicity, about his food habits, about his passion for education. One more thing that I wanted to tell everybody is, after giving up mining, I entered agriculture. Of course, my ancestors were always there in agriculture. And the only reason I got into agriculture was Manohar Bhai again. Because the number of benefits that he gave for agriculture. And he one day prompted me. He said, Baba, tuza itlo zago asago ayan. Tu kide karta? Get into agriculture. And he always believed access to everyone. Even educational projects, whenever I got something which had high fees, he said, sorry, these projects are not only for the rich people. Everybody has to have access to quality education. Give good quality at a lesser price, and I will accept it in my government. The same thing he did with agriculture. He said, try and produce more so that people in Goa could benefit. So such was the greatness of this man that I really cherish every moment. And as Lele sir says, we miss him every single day of our lives. But we have to try and celebrate his life by trying to emulate few of, I know that it's very difficult to emulate everything, but at least emulate few of his qualities so that his life is well celebrated. Thank you once again, Goa chapter of Bharati Vidnyan Parishad, and wish everybody a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the beautiful memories that you have with our late CM. I now request Shri Jayant, the National Coordinator of Vidnyan Bharati and the mind behind the organized growth of the wave of scientific awareness, to share his thoughts and memoirs. Thank you.
Namaste. Respected dignitaries and all friends, brothers, and sisters who have joined this great function. Today I am really thankful to Goa Vidnyan Parishad because they have decided to organize this function for promotion of science on the birthday of our great friend late Shri Manohar Parrikar. I know that Manohar Parrikar was a great science lover. He used to enjoy science like anything. And today, by organizing this lecture of Dr. Satheesh Reddy, we have been doing a befitting tribute to his memory. So thanks a lot. Let us enjoy the lecture of Dr. Satheesh Reddy. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. We remember the Defense Expo showcasing India's capabilities on land, navy, and other security systems, which were held in Goa in Gepe, that is in 2016. It had international participation of over 47 countries. This event was brought by the then Raksha Mantri to Goa from Delhi for the very first time. And the people of Goa were exposed to the might and the power of the Indian Defence Force then. In 27 months as the Raksha Mantri, he stood out as one of the most dynamic ministers of India and had several achievements to his credit. Most famously, the two surgical strikes in Myanmar and POK. Let us now listen to the keynote address on the contributions of our late leader in self-reliance in the defense sector. May I request Dr. I.K. Pai, the Vice President of Vidnyan Parishad Goa, to kindly introduce to us the very respected keynote speaker on this occasion, Dr. I.K. Pai.
Thank you very much and good evening, my friends. I feel it's my privilege to introduce Dr. Satheesh Reddy. Dr. Satheesh Reddy, presently Secretary, Department of Defense Research and Development, and also Chairman of DRDO. Dr. G. Satheesh Reddy is also known for his significant contribution toward the indigenous design, development, deployment of diversified missiles and strategic systems, guided weapons, avionics techniques, and sustained efforts in advancement of aerospace technologies and industries in our country. He graduated in electronics and communication engineering from Jawaharlal Nehru Technical University, Hyderabad, Anantapur. Later, he received his MS and PhD from JNTU, Hyderabad. He joined DRDO, Hyderabad in the year 1986. Later, he was appointed as scientific advisor to Defense Minister in the year 2015. He has significantly contributed toward the formulation of many national policies and was pivotal in evolving roadmap for self-sufficiency in missile technology in our country. He led the design and development of wide range of tactical and strategic missile systems, attained complete self-sufficiency in missile. Today, we are self-sufficient as far as the missiles are concerned. He was responsible for BMD, BrahMos Missile Development Program. He developed the mission critical technologies for the long-range Agni 5 missiles. We are one of the leading country in the world as far as the long-range missiles are concerned. As a program director, he successfully developed the medium-range surface-to-air missiles, which we were earlier time we used to import. Today, we are in a position to export it, and achieved the streak successes in the maiden mission itself. That's a great achievement. He is a renowned navigation expert and project director and technology director, steered the design and development of several indigenous inertial sensors as well as sat-nav receivers and many more such things what he did for the defense system. He holds distinction of being inducted as a fellow of Royal Institute of Navigation, London, Royal Aeronautical Society, UK, and foreign member of Academy of Navigation and Motion Control, Russia. He is also honorary fellow of CSI and Project Management Association of India. He is a privileged fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineering, IIT UK, associate fellow of American Institute of Aeronautics and Aeronautics USA, and many other academic and scientific bodies. He is a member in such kind of in country and abroad. For his distinguished service, Dr. Satheesh received several prestigious international and national awards like Indian Science Congress Homi J. Baba Memorial Gold Medal, National Aeronautical Prize, National Design Award, National System of Gold Medal in first IEEI USA, Joint Award for Engineering Excellence, and was conferred with Silver Medal of Royal Aeronautical Society London. Apart from that, he is also recipient of Dr. Biren Ray Space Science Design Award, Aeronautical Society of India Rocketry and Related Technologies Award, and has been conferred with honorary degrees of Doctor of Science by many prestigious universities. List is too long. It may take me a long time to read all the things. So because of shortage of time, I'll stop here, and I am eagerly looking forward to listen to Dr. Satheesh Reddy's lecture. Dr. Satheesh Reddy, sir, welcome to Vidnyan Parishad, Goa. Thank you.
नमस्कार जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद for a detailed and elaborate profile of me being given by you. Shri Ratnakar ji, Shri Srinivas ji, Jayant ji, and all the people who are present on this occasion. Once again, namaskar and good evening to everyone. First, let me thank the organizers for inviting me to be the part of this occasion, and also to give the memorial lecture in the name of our beloved leader, Shri Manohar Parrikar ji. I immensely thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. I met Parrikar ji in the year 2015, and I reported to him as scientific advisor to Raksha Mantri. And then I worked with him. Very memorable innings. A personality which you rarely see. A person who is born with dedication to the nation, commitment to the nation, a person who is very sincere, a person who is down to the earth, a person who is filled with honesty and whatnot. In every aspect, in his human relationships, or his commitment to the society, commitment to the people, and many things. You have to learn so many things from one person who has so many qualities. Many people who have been personally associated with him have mentioned so many qualities, what he has, and what we actually should practice in our life. But then I will see and talk about more on the professional front, what I have observed him during my tenure, and the type of qualities he has, the way he has pushed the things, and the way the country has moved. Firstly, I think he's one of the very few people in the country who have understood MOD. Ministry of Defense is a vast uh, subject and system with all the three services, DRDO, production, and whatnot, many other areas, and how the system works, how you can actually move the system, and so many details. That's how I think he tried to bring in lots of reforms, lots of changes, and lots of things how it can be moved efficiently. In fact, he is the one who has understood every step, what is required and how it moves in the system, and how many steps can be cut down, and how you can hasten various um, places, how the things can be moved faster and worked out, and how a system or a file or a particular project we are taking, how it can be moved faster. Discussed threadbare in the Defense Acquisition Council, lots of changes have been brought in, lots of new programs have been brought in, and how this country can become self-reliant, how the imports can be reduced, how more and more indigenous content can be brought in. We had to work out among all the people who are present, taking the inputs and roadmap for this particular indigenous technologies to get into the defense. In fact, let me tell you, he used to go through the file line by line. Whatever the file we sent, people used to be very careful that none other than Raksha Mantri is going through line by line. He underlines everything. He gives his comments. Beautiful handwriting. Beautiful handwriting. The way he writes and the way it is, calligraphy of him is fantastic. And so, anybody who prepares a file, all the people in the chain, you are very careful. And when it comes to DAC, when a case is being presented, when you are trying to explain, he says, I have gone through, I have understood everything. It is for the whole DAC. The council, you please present it and let all the people understand, then we take a decision. He used to make everyone give his opinion, and as a chairman, he used to take final call with the inputs coming from everyone and with what the study what he had done. One more fantastic quality in the whole thing, what I observed is the memory power of it. I've seen many people who remember many people, who remember many names, so many things and life. But Parikarji's specialty is he remembers numbers. Even when he gave on many important occasions the speech in Parliament, I think he himself mentioned there, I remember everything in every page. And he will tell, yes, the price of this is 123.467 crores. Digits, every digits he used to give. I haven't seen anyone else in my life till now who had such a capability to remember the numbers to the all the precision what is required in that. It's a great quality. Similarly, the working style, not wasting 1 minute. When you go there, he keeps going through a file and he is making his remarks and everything. Says, I'm going through this, but that doesn't mean that I'm not listening to you. You please continue. You please explain what you are explaining. I'll parallelly go through both the things. This is what he used to tell, and that's how we all, when we go there, we used to explain him case by case. He knows everyone up to the joint secretary level also. Who is who, what is his caliber, and what is his capacity, how we can utilize him. Whether it is in the armed forces, he knows the people up to major general level, who is who, what is happening, how he is working, and what are his capabilities, what inputs I need to take from him. Similarly, in DRDO, he knows about every laboratory, how it is functioning, what are his inputs and things like that. I think first time I have seen him when he came to Hyderabad, and every lab gives his presentation. He has already come prepared about that lab. What are the positives? What are the negatives? What are the programs which are delayed and why they are delayed? Where to tighten? He used to give a counter presentation to us, more like saying that this lab, you have so many projects are delayed, so many projects are going well, and then analyze, talk about the reasons and everything. So when you are preparing yourself for a presentation to the Raksha Mantri, you know that he is well prepared, he is well informed, and he has come prepared. So you have to also be very careful in presenting and pushing the cases. And his style I was just mentioning works up to very late in the night, goes through all the files. When he's going from office to home, bundles and bundles of files are carried in the vehicles and it goes through. And again, morning, I think as early as about before 6 a.m., he starts going through the files. Calls many people for the discussions at home, and right at 8 o'clock, you start discussing on various cases and files. And for me, when I went to his house, I find that there are many boys, youngsters who are working with him in various capacities, no egos, nothing, and all of them are sitting on one dining table. It's like a family affair, those boys and he and everyone. And when we go there, he calls us also, join in the breakfast, and we all have as if one family. This is one thing what we have to see from him, that how he treats the people and the people who are working with him, the people who are working for him, and then the officers from the government who, when they come there, how to interact with them and make them feel very comfortable. This is another great quality what I have seen. Then studying department-wise, each department-wise, what is his present status, what is the present capability, and what you are looking for, what type of changes in the whole department and the ministry, in the procurement policies, acquisition processes, or in the development processes and industry, how you need to drive them. is another thing what he has concentrated in each and every area and tried to bring in lots of changes in that. He being a metallurgist from IIT Mumbai is the one when I proposed we have to bring in a material policy for the country. He has spent hours together with the various experts in the country, listening, and then in the end, the type of comments what he gave and the type of roadmap what he gave and the type of interest he has shown in bringing the material policy for the country, making the whole policy, and he as a Raksha Mantri accepting that and pushing it further is one thing what phenomenal. Getting into the actual depth of the subject in the materials is another great thing. Similarly, innovative manufacturing policy is another one where he has shown a lot of keen interest, asked us all of us to move the things, and spent lots of hours, had workshops with the experts in the country in the manufacturing area. Another policy what he has moved. So likewise, so many things which he has concentrated and so many things which he has pushed and wanted to see this country as self-reliant in the defense technologies. I was lucky to have associated with him as scientific advisor to Raksha Mantri in many of these things. And in also whatever he directed, many people used to meet him, many industrialists, many people who wants to enter into defense, who wants to start companies, and whom he used to send it to me. Look into it, Satish, very positively. Try to help them, try to bring into them, encourage the people. And I think there was no day when at least about 5 to 10 people were meeting me who was sent by Raksha Mantri to me. So this is the approach what he had. That's why I'm saying a great personality with whom we worked, who had multifaceted capabilities, skills, and capacities. And so when you look at his dream of self-reliant India in defense technologies and capabilities, I think the country is moving in the right direction of his dream. Today, many technologies are being developed in the country and trying to make the country self-reliant, trying to reduce the imports and slowly start exporting our technologies is the way where we are driving. Today, I can very confidently say that we are self-reliant in the many areas. We are self-reliant in the area of missiles today. We are self-reliant in the area of radars today. We are self-reliant in the area of electronic warfare systems. We are self-reliant in the area of AVAC systems, airborne early warning and control systems. We are self-reliant in the area of sonar systems, which are required for all underwater applications for ships and submarines. We are self-reliant in the area of torpedoes. We are self-reliant in the area of communications. And we are also fast becoming self-reliant in the area of guns, armored vehicles, and even in fighter aircrafts. When I say guns today, India is today a country which has in the 155 class the world's longest range gun, ATAGS. The country has developed the world's longest range gun today. And similarly, many small arms, the carbines, the rifles are also being developed in the country, and along with all the ammunition what is required for that. Look at today, one of his pet projects where he pushed a lot, that is light combat aircraft. The light combat aircraft has gone through the initial operation clearance, the final operation clearance, and today the case is in a very advanced stage for inducting 100 plus aircrafts into the Indian Air Force. Then the country is moving with the LCM Mark II, the advanced medium combat aircraft, and also naval version. So many aircrafts. The country has a clear roadmap where you're trying to become completely self-reliant and you will make all the fighter aircrafts which are required within the country itself. In the coming about 5 to 10 years, we should be able to develop many aircrafts, become self-reliant in those technologies. Friends, as you have seen, lots of missiles have been developed. You have seen it in the last about 3-4 months. So many new missiles, so many technologies which have come up and which have been developed everywhere. Every alternate day, there is one missile or other getting tested, including the test demonstration of hypersonic vehicle also, flying at hypersonic speeds at close to about 6 Mach for about 20 to 23 seconds, country has demonstrated. Many missile systems. And similarly, you also have seen the country has become completely self-reliant in the area of radars today. Any type of a radar you will be able to develop in the country. You have the complete, all the necessary elements in the radars also have been developed. And we are moving more and more to the advanced technologies today. You must have seen that just a couple of days back, the quantum communication between two laboratories of DRDO has been established. One of the advanced technologies which very few countries are working today, we also could demonstrate between two laboratories today, and you are going to move further ahead. And many other areas you are talking about today, advanced materials and related various products, lightweight bulletproof jackets, anti-mine boots, are talking about terahertz technologies, are talking about high power lasers, anti-drone systems, and drone-based systems today, the terahertz technologies, the communication technologies, many areas the country is working today. And I think I should congratulate the organizers for taking the topic of the science, the advancement in the science as the Manohar Parrikarji's remembrance and topic today. It is science and technology which makes the country progressive, prosperous, and leading. That is what we have seen in the world. Whichever country has taken forward, whichever country has moved faster. And it is our country where we also need to move. So if the science and technology, when we are taking the subject, the three major elements are the academic institutes, the R&D organizations, and the industry. Friends, in the last about 5 to 10 years, the way the industry has grown in the country, I'm talking about primarily in the defense area, a phenomenal change. In fact, when Dr. Kalam was there, when he was working, we had only a couple of industries working with us in each city. Today, there are thousands of industries. I can proudly say today, there are 2,000 industries which are working as Tier 1 and Tier 2 industries. That means system level and subsystem level. If you go to the Tier 3 level also, we have more than about 10,000 industries which are working, and daily these numbers are increasing. The industries which were there as a build to print, meaning I design everything and I give it and you fabricate it as per the design, that is what is called as build to print. I have now changed it to build to specification, meaning you just say that this is the system I want, these are the specifications, the industry is able to develop. It's evolving every day. The changes are happening so fast. And in fact, the industry is able to come up to build to requirements also, meaning we generally capture the requirements and you are able to derive the specifications, you are able to come out with the system, meaning there's a lot of development activity happening in the industry. There are now industries in the defense in the country who have actually acquired some of the industries in the defense industries outside this country, in Europe, in America, and all that. And the country is supplying lots of things to those nations today from here today. And one very important change what we have observed in the last couple of years is the youngsters are coming in this area in a big way. When we say youngsters earlier, it used to be only the ICT area, information communication technology area. Anybody you talk to him is in information technology or communication technology related things. It has changed now. Lots of youngsters are entering into defense technologies area. There are many people who are working in the materials area, who are working in the propulsion area, who are working in the green technologies, working on space technologies. Lots of startups are coming today. Many startups in the defense technologies area. That's the evolving system. That system needs to come. See, the DRDO may be working on high technologies and advanced technologies and futuristic technologies. But industry need to be continuously developing many things. Industry should be able to do research in niche areas, should be able to come out with innovative products. That is what is happening today. And lots of industries coming. And lots of policy changes are also happening to encourage these industries in a big way. Whether the promotion of innovation with schemes like IDEX or the technology development funding from DRDO or imprint, again a funding technology funding from the DST through all our departments including DRDO, lots of support. Whatever we are importing today, many of those things like in DRDO, in the technology development funding scheme, they have all been put in the website. These are all 156 items or so, which you can indigenize. If somebody comes forward saying that I'll develop these things indigenously, the DRDO is going to fund him completely on that. Or if it comes out as a suo motu proposal also saying that these are required for the defense and I want to develop this, and if it is really finding useful, the screening committee looks into it and we're going to promote and we're going to fund that. Today, actually, Manohar Parrikar is the one who started. In fact, I remember that your all test facilities should be made open. Today, all our complete test facilities in DRDO have been made open to the industry. Every facility can be used by the industry today, Indian industries. The patents, what we had the portfolio, the complete patents of DRDO have been made open to the Indian industry today. Anybody can use that patents and discuss with the DRDO for further understanding and further help and come out with products based on those patents today. We have come out with DCPP called Development Cum Production Partner, wherein industry is development and production phase is partner. Right from the day one of the project when you're taking, he is joining as a partner and working with you, understanding with you, helping each other, learning, and then going through the production process. This is one of the very important things which actually the new acquisition policy procedure which has been promulgated recently has been brought in, which ensures the acquisition process is very fast. Earlier, DRDO used to develop and you go through the development trials, then you go through user assisted trials, user trials, and then transfer it to the industry, and industry comes out with its own first of production model, and then again do the trials. And then these are 4 or 5 series of trials which used to have happen. Now they all have been integrated into one set of trials. Everybody is together. There's an integrated team with you, and which works the development agency, the user agency, the quality assurance agency, and the production agency all are together as one team and trying to develop this. And private industries are participating even in the area of missiles and bombs and in the integration and production of that in a big way. Lots of participation. It used to be only DPSUs, now DPSUs and private industries. In fact, when Manohar Parrikar came to Hyderabad and visited the Missile Complex and Bharati Dynamics Limited, the Akash production started and was going on. And in Akash production, I keep saying every time, it's one of the best models where DPSUs and private industries have worked together. 87% by value to BDL, which is the lead integrator, the parts were coming from the private industry. 87% by value. What is an integration between DPSUs and the industry you look for? This is one of the best things. And now, of course, the private industries also can be lead integrators. They can also be integrating. They also can establish facilities. They can join as development and production partners with the DRDO and work on all these products today. So that is why I'm saying lots of schemes have been brought in. Lots of policy changes have been brought in. DRDO also has come out with new procurement policy procedures, wherein it's making more and more friendly to work with the defense. Many things. There have been 57 new policy changes have been brought in our procurement manual today, wherein we are saying that industry doesn't have to give bank guarantee, industry doesn't have to give the securities, and related many things have been simplified. The policies, procedures have been simplified that the process doesn't take much of a time. And we want to see that many of our majority of our cases are processed within about a period of 2 months. That is the timelines we are working today, trying to make everything automatic, trying to make the industry get the licenses to work in the defense areas very simplified. There are very few areas which actually you have to go for DPIIT for licenses today. Even the explosive handling license also has been simplified. The time period is almost half now for the industry to get in. So that is how it is coming up. And to work on the advanced S&T areas, science and technology areas, you have to bring in academia together. This is one area where Manohar Parrikar was continuously looking for academia and DRDO and industry how to work together. Lots of centers of excellence have been established during this period. Whether it is IIT Delhi or IIT Mumbai or IIT Chennai, many places the centers of excellence have been established to work on the advanced and futuristic S&T areas which are required for the defense today. I think it is in the period around 2014 plus, wherein they have been established, and he used to take regular reviews. And today we are able to work very closely, academic institutes, DRDO, and the industries in a big way. And in fact, we are coming out with many schemes wherein we can support this science research programs in academia in a big way. Today we are almost investing about 1,000 crores in the academic institutes for all these advanced and futuristic science and technology programs which are required for the country. If this country should stop importing many of these things, and if we have to export these things, it is the advancement in the science and technology area which will make that happen. If you have to develop a system which is really state of the art, or if you have to develop a system which is going to be the state of the art system after 5 years, your roadmap should be very clear where you are working on those futuristic areas along with the academic institutes together. So you have to identify the futuristic technology areas, map them, work with academic institutes, bring in industry there, put incubators there, industry, academia, DRDO scientists, all working as one team, not in silos, is what is the need. That is what is being brought in many academic institutes and many centers today. And that is actually what will make the country develop the futuristic technologies or first of its kind technologies. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam always used to say that we should develop first of its kind technologies. Yes, as a nation, we are developing many things. If you look at the anti-satellite mission Shri, India is the 4th country which has done that. There are only 3 countries, America, Russia, and China, who have actually neutralized the satellite in low Earth orbits. India became the 4th country by taking up such a complex and critical mission. And today, we are trying to develop many new things, many advanced technologies, trying to become self-reliant. If Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the call what he has given, Atmanirbhar Bharat, meaning you should have a design capability in this country, you should have a development capability in the country, you should have a production capability in the country, and you should have the necessary technological capability for testing all these things in the country. That is what is Atmanirbhar Bharat, not just a capability to produce them. Then you have the complete technologies hold in you, and then you will be able to come out with products which are first of its kind, state-of-the-art products, and that is how you will be able to sell it to the entire world. So this is the dream. In the coming In next 5 to 10 years, all these imports, which are roughly about 50% or whatever it is, and we are one of the largest importers of defense equipment and arms, we should bring down that to the bare minimum. And other way around, we should be able to export them in a big way. Yes, lots of countries are showing interest in Indian products and technologies today. Lots of industries are trying to export them in a big way. But then, if you have to export them in a big way, you need to have two, three things. First thing is the product has to be at the state of the art product or the first of its kind product and innovative product. Second, it should have a sustained quality. The first product to the 1 millionth product, 10 million product, what you are coming out of the industry should have the same quality standard. And lastly, most importantly, you should be cost competitive. If these three we are able to meet, then we can definitely sell all our products entire world. World will come to India. For this, the first and foremost important thing is the topic of today's Manohar Parrikarji's memorial theme, the science and technology development of the country. That is where the country has to advance itself in a big way. And that's how the many schemes are being brought in. You must have seen that even the internationally who are there, the people who are working in various countries of Indian origin, have been brought in all the areas, not defense. It is actually in the entire scientific spectrum by the Government of India, and Honorable Prime Minister has inaugurated a program called Vaibhav, wherein more than about 5 to 7,000 scientists and researchers who are working abroad in various institutes, academic institutes, and R&D organizations have been brought into the platform along with the Indian academic researchers, professors, and scientists, and everyone who are working here jointly. And you must have seen Honorable Prime Minister saying there are about in 80 technical subjects they have discussed how to progress, what is the way forward. 237 sessions, 750 hours of discussions have happened over a period of 1 month, how these technologies and how this research can be taken forward jointly along with everyone. There are many countries which are coming forward to jointly work with India on many of the research programs today. Many countries, many nations. We have it a program jointly running with most of the advanced nations today, where we are jointly doing a lot of research. The research culture in the country has to be fully brought in. The country has to become the S&T hub of the world, science and technology hub. I don't have to tell you, in the ancient days, the entire world was coming to India and trying to learn. Here in Nalanda and Takshasala, tens of thousands of students. India was the center of the hub of the knowledge. So today we have to become the hub of S&T. There should be flourishing academic research in all the academic institutes. The people who are able to get into the depth of each and every topic and subjects, narrow subjects and niche areas, and we will be getting into the depth of it and come out with the results out of it and making it a translational research to get into a product. That is what is the need of the hour, wherein we need to bring in. And friends, let me tell you, with the Ministry of Higher Education, now today, there are 500 research scholars who are doing PhDs or joining DRDO laboratories, select a specific topic as their thesis topic and working on 500 subjects. Lots of things, lots of youngsters who are going to work on PhD schemes in DRDO and defense-related products using the DRDO laboratories. You must have known that Honorable Prime Minister has directed DRDO to establish young scientist laboratories. We have established 5, wherein all the scientists who are working in those laboratories are below 35 years old, working on technologies. I mentioned some time back quantum technologies. There is a laboratory established in Mumbai with young scientists young scientists who are all below 35 years old working on these technologies. There is young scientist lab in advanced material, there is working young scientist lab on artificial intelligence, there is an young scientist lab in cognitive technologies, there is an young scientist lab in asymmetric technologies. a lot of support and promotion to the youngsters who are actually going to lead this country to tomorrow's prosperity. Lots of schemes to promote the youngsters, the startups, and the industry and the research in academia. These are all the steps which actually Manohar Parrikar was dreaming. He was a Raksha Mantri who came from an IIT, who had in-depth knowledge in materials and other technologies. He's a man who had his own industry, and he was a seasoned politician. What else you need to have qualities, the best person to have, and think about everything with a clear picture. He was able to talk to academicians on the same plane. He was able to talk to industrialists on the same plane. He was able to talk to scientists like us on the same plane. And he was able to understand the entire armed forces requirements and picture, everything, understanding the positives and negatives of everyone, trying to bring in and promote the new policies. I think the country is going to make the dream of Manohar Parrikar ji a reality in coming few years. India is fast moving. India is trying to take everyone together and trying to develop many technologies. And I'm sure that all of us who are listening, and particularly youngsters who are listening, and industrialists who are listening, academicians who are listening, will be joining to this fray and make this country move forward and make the country top of the world in the defense technologies. And that is the real tribute what we'll make to Manohar Parrikar ji, the great man whom we all have worked with. And it's my proud privilege, again, I have worked with him, and it's my proud privilege to deliver the memorial lecture on the theme of self-reliance in the defense technologies. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for sharing your experience of working with such a visionary who believed in modesty, who was having immense self-confidence, and he was a warrior spirit. I request now Professor Harilal Menon, the Dean of School of Earth, Ocean and Atmospheric Sciences, and the Senior Professor of Marine Science Department, Goa University, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thanks, ma'am. Sucheta. Good evening. Shri Jayant Sahasrabudhe ji, National Organizing Secretary, Vidnyan Parishad, who is presiding over today's function. Honorable Dr. Satheesh Reddy, Secretary, Department of Defense and Chairman, DRDO. Most beloved Shri Srinivas Dempo, Chairman, Dempo Group of Companies. And our most reverend teacher, Ratnakar Lele ji, former principal, Mushtifund Higher Secondary School. And the most valuable invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really grateful for giving me a chance to extend a vote of thanks to everyone present over here. I, on behalf of the entire fraternity of Vibha, would like to thank one and all for gracing this occasion of celebration of 65th birth anniversary of our most beloved Manohar Parrikar ji, former Defense Minister and former CM of this beautiful state of Goa. A man of many firsts, the first IITian to become the Chief Minister of State, the first Goan to become a cabinet rank minister at the center and a national leader stature, and also the first Chief Minister of a state to continue in office for over a year, despite the fact that he has been diagnosed with the terminal stage cancer. Let me now begin the responsibility to thank this august body. In fact, the very presence of Secretary Defense itself speaks volume that how significant the late leader's contribution as a defense minister was. Sir, your speech has really given a thorough insight into the kind of work our great leader had done for the defense personnel. In fact, you have been streamlining. You have been saying that this is the path or this is the trajectory which was drawn by the late leader, and the kind of work our great leader had done for the defense personnel of our country during his short span as defense minister. Especially if I remember, one of the humanitarian acts he has done was the OROP, one rank, one pension, was one of the best contributions, or I would say a historic step, and had given a much awaited relief to the defense personnel for which India had waited for years together. For this alone, I salute this brave step taken by this great leader. In fact, your speech really motivates young audiences the kind of hard work and dedication the great leader had shown to modernize our defense weaponry, and the kind of vision he had put forward to take the defense ministry into a higher level. Thank you so much for your time and effort. We are thankful to Srinivas Dempo for sharing his experience with the great leader. Thank you very much, sir, for your presence, and I'm sure the experience you shared would certainly be an inspiration to many assembled today. I would like to acknowledge our sincere gratitude to Shri Ratnakar Lele for his gracious presence and his memories about the great leader. We are all inspired by your great words. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to record my heartfelt thanks to Jayant, who is the fulcrum behind this event, for the right logistic support and guidance for all the work rendered. In fact, at this juncture, I would also like to thank Ma'am Sujata for her comparing the function in an excellent fashion. Well, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, such an event cannot happen overnight. Wheels start rolling around a fortnight ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be supported by a team of very motivated and dedicated Vidnyan Bharati workers who know their job and their willingness to complete the task beyond their comfort zone until their space is correct and the job is always result oriented. Once again, I thank one and all for gracing this occasion. Thank you all.
Let me now ask Dr. Sufala Puchari to conclude this program with the Shanti Mantra.
निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. धन्यवाद.